You nervous, Martha? Oh my gosh.
I'm a little
Testosterone.
bit, 'cause I don't know what you're gonna ask.
All right. What's going on, fellas?
What's going on?
Guys.
Same shit, different day. What we get into today?
Chilling out here. We just wrapped it up with Lewis. That was kind of cool. No, it was cool. Excuse me. That was fun, interesting.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, as y'all can hear, we have a couple guests today. So, we're going to start off. We have Martha D. Style. She likes to use her middle initial because she's cool like that.
What's going on, Martha D? How you doing?
How you doing?
What's up? How are you guys?
Fine.
Good.
All right, so she runs MDMC, right? And we also have MDMC East. We got Lewis.
Yo.
We have Eddie.
What's going on?
What up, guys?
What's going on, everybody?
Good. Chilling.
So, Martha, I guess we'll start with you.
Okay.
You want to tell us about yourself? How you got started with MDMC?
Wait, first let's see. What does MDMC stand for?
When we were going through the naming process, I wanted to do something catchy, and in grad school, I actually came up with a PR agency called Shine Inc., but Shine Inc. was already taken because, sounds cool. And so I was like, okay, well, that name's out. When I started looking through URLs and stuff, I was like, it needs to mean, at that time I was working a lot in entertainment, and I wanted to let people in entertainment know that, I could do marketing for them in that sphere. And I was thinking, because I'm a marketer by trade. So I'm like, all right, entertainment has to be in there. And, I was like, I'm a marketing consultant. Like, how the fuck do you get this concept across in one word? And so it was my husband who said, well, you're Martha D, because that's, my middle name is pretty much obsolete, but I just go with the middle initial. And so he's like, Martha D and then marketing consultant. So put it together, MDMC and then entertainment. And I was like, holy shit, that's smart. And I'm the marketer here. And sometimes he has better ideas than I do. And I'm like, that sounds cool. And so the pink and black aspect of the logo was, I was working at a really boring company at one point, and we were rebranding another company within the company. And so we were looking at samples. And I remember seeing a sample that I really loved, and it was black, white, and pink. And I was like, yo, man, one of these days I'm going to have a company, and it's going to be black, pink, and gold, black, pink, and white. And then it all kind of happened. It's kind of weird.
Your favorite colors?
Very creative.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and safe to say, MDMC is you. That's
Yep.
yours.
It-
That's your baby.
It is me full-heartedly, yes.
And I think it's cool because the colors, when I see it, honestly, I think of like the breast cancer awareness, and it's kind of cool because it coincides with you. You're female.
Yeah.
I don't know. I only know of you through Al, and to see that, I think that was cool. That was my first thought, my first impression.
Yeah, it's super versatile. I think you can use it for anything. I know this logo has, in other renditions, has changed colors. I just got done doing a project with a good friend of mine, Brandon Brazier of Art Production, and we were promoting our project Back to Action. And so he changed my logo to yellow and black, and I was like, whoa, what the hell? And I was like, man, it's so weird to see it in a different color. And then when Lewis decided to start making content for me, out of nowhere, here comes the orange, blue, and gray logo, and I'm like, "What the hell are y'all doing?"
I think that was dope.
But now
New York
it's
all
grown
day.
on it.
All day.
Like it.
I like that.
Yeah, so pink and black are headquarters, and then obviously, I will only have one other division of MDMC, and that'll be MDMC East. So they're the only ones that can change their color differently.
Okay, so MDMC East, and what's that?
So MDMC East is Lewis and Eddie because they have been around since basically the inception of this concept. And, for the longest time, I always wanted to have, because there's entertainment is so profound in New York City, and, it's a staple. I think anyone who's a business owner would love to crack into this market because there's money there, whether you like it or not. There's money to be made. And just the idea of having a West Coast, because I'm in San Diego and Los Angeles, and I dominate both of these markets. I thought, man, what better way to dominate the East Coast if I have a New York crew? And Lewis has already brought to me many potential people that will eventually line up and do business with us. So
Good shit,
Nice.
grinding out here.
man.
All right.
That's what's up.
You got Lewis hustling out here.
I try.
I've been on your platform and I've seen business building and beyond.
Yeah.
You got a guy in Albuquerque? Oh, I don't know. Not no. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. I apologize. I was just doing my homework and.
No, it's totally fine. No, I'll talk about it. I went to college with Mark, and he's one of those people that has been around since I graduated college, because obviously we went together, and he's been watching this journey throughout the way. And I think what caught his attention the most was the fact, before I even went out on my own, which we'll get to that, but it was really messy before I got out on my own. But, I was doing a full-time job and I was traveling with talent across the US. And, the fact of the matter is I work with some really cool people. And I think that gravitated toward him, like, yo, I want to be a part of this. And I think anyone that watches what I do, and the people that have watched me for years, no, that's all I do is I travel with talent and I do marketing. And that's pretty much, people have seen the people I've worked with. And, Mark, we gave it a shot. We wanted to see if I can break into, because I'm originally from New Mexico. And I thought, what better way to break into your home state than have a representative there? And it wasn't as smooth as it was with Lewis. And, we just decided we're going to allocate Mark into another section of the department. So we'll keep Albuquerque on the back burner. But as of right now, the only divisions I'm focused on is West and East.
New York is all you need.
Right.
Pretty much.
So you mentioned that you travel with talent.
Mm-hmm.
Can you drop some names?
Yeah. God, who have I traveled with? Basically how that started was I met a girl at PowerMorphCon 2016. That's where I met Lewis and I met Eddie. And this girl's like, hey, I know an agent that needs marketing help for her clients. And, to anyone's surprise, actors really don't manage their social media themselves, or they don't do any of their marketing, or they don't do any of their outreach. And they usually hire someone or an agency to do it for them. And so what I ended up doing was I landed into this talent agency. And this girl was like, yeah, I need this, and this done. Would you be willing to work for this? And then in return, your payment will be a plane ticket and you can go anywhere that I send you. And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'll take that deal any day. So the people I've traveled with, I've gone, I took the Power Rangers in Space to Canada. That was a really big deal because that was my first international trip. So I took Chris Lee and Justin Nemo and Tracy Cruz and who else did I take? Selwyn Ward. We all went up there, Canada, for a weekend. I've traveled with some Star Trek alum, Star Trek TNG, so Jonathan Frakes, Marina Sirtis, Mindy Sterling from Austin Powers. There's so many. I can't even think right now. I went to Alaska with somebody. I forget who. She was a Star Trek girl too. It's been a lot of people over the years. But mainly right now it's since we're not traveling, it's mostly digital based. So it kind of
Just a lot of geeky shit you do.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I went to Mexico with a bunch of Harry Potter actors. I forgot. I did that too.
Yes, I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
All right, so then
I don't know.
So is that your main focus? Is just working with celebrities, or you also do like low profile people?
I actually started out with low profile people. That's how I kind of got my door open that way. I work with like, some indie projects. There was a Star Trek actor who's not really as prolific. He was doing a indie project for a movie, and the way we started talking, which is kind of funny, it goes back to your catfish episode y'all were talking about. So when I broke out into this industry, I actually started out in a whole new name, a whole different picture, and I was writing entertainment blogs. And this is not the Daisy stuff. This is someone completely different. And I started writing about this guy's like projects, and it caught his attention. He's like, yo, who you are, where you from? And we started talking, and he's like, I really need help with my marketing, my social media. And I was like, all right. So that led to that. And so then when it came down to him making his movie, he's like, I need help. And I was like, all right. So I helped him. In return, I got to go on set with some really big names in the sci-fi world, Gigi Edgley and Walter Koenig and Robert Beltran and Armin Shimmerman, like all of these people I seen growing up on TV. I was now on the soundstage with these guys, and I'm like, holy crap! Like, they're like, welcome to Hollywood. This is what we do. We sit around and wait. And
exciting.
It was really fun. I was like, this is where I belong. But yeah, no, I would love to do more. I would really love to be able to nab a television show and just be like, I'm going to do all the marketing for it. I'm going to do all the branding for you, the video clips, everything. And I'd love to do that for, a studio or something. That would be like the ultimate goal.
So you work pretty hand in hand with these people then, right?
Oh yeah.
So you get pretty personal. You never they never like send you by accident any nudes or something?
Next question.
Or like coke lines and shit,
Next question.
Pleading the fifth over here.
To be honest with you, anything goes, and I've seen a lot of things, and I've heard a lot of things, and things I didn't ask to be seen. So,
you got the good stuff. Nice. You got the gossip.
One of these days I'm going to write a book, and it's going to be amazing.
Who's that person who does that celebrity gossip? That can be you right there.
Yeah.
He's famous for all the celebrity gossip. He knows everything.
Perez?
Yes.
Hilton?
Yes. Hilton Perez, right?
Hilton and I.
Hilton Perez, right?
Hilton and I, believe it or not.
Not Perez.
Perez.
I had to correct him on a story because he was like, oh, we don't know why this is happening. I'm like, yo, dude, there's a prenup in place. And he's like, no, there's not. I'm like, yes, there is. Go check. And sure enough, there's a prenup. He's like, my bad. Didn't know that. So I corrected Perez Hilton.
Nice.
Look at you. Whoa.
I said.
I like that shit.
Good job.
All right, so then how are you incorporating MDMC East with all this big names and high publicity and stuff? Because I don't see Lewis with this celebrity over his arm, like.
No people.
But you didn't bring them.
No, I didn't bring. Because they have their own agent.
And Lewis, Eddie's at home with his beard and stuff. Like, where's the celebrities?
There's been many times where the people that I've worked with in the past are like, hey, I'm going to New York for this, and this. What do you recommend I see? And I said, let me connect you with Lewis. And Lewis has picked up people at the airport. He's taken them around. They've gone to lunch with some of these people. Like, one of the things that I stress about the most with working with me is that, everyone has paid their dues at some point. And over the years, Lewis has extended his hand and offered help in times where I really needed it. There was a situation earlier this year where I'm like, hey, I'm going to need your help for this weekend. And he's like, no problem. Or Eddie, or he was working one day and Eddie stepped in. And so, they've worked with me before at these conventions, and they know what goes on behind the table, and they're very savvy. They know people too. So we know pretty much the same people. Sometimes Lewis knows people more than I do in certain cases, and that relationship goes hand in hand.
Lewis, what's your take on this MDMC East?
MDMC East started out as like, Martha's like, oh, if you know anybody that's looking for marketing and stuff, to let them know about MDMC. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I know some people that may need, and I've told some people's been critics and told me stuff back about Martha, and I'm like, okay, I understand. I'll reach back out to her and let her know. Some have given out cards, but I'm assuming I don't know what they've done with that. That's up to them at the end of the day to choose Martha, to go with somebody else. I've left some flyers around on the trains and on people's cars, or
Gay Street.
On Gay Street. Special houses with mailboxes.
Nice.
Oh my God.
No, Lewis, when I first started my first set of business cards, he's the one who got them and started handing them out. So like he was a believer from the beginning.
Yeah, I even took them to cons. I've left some on tables. So they've reached out to Martha. Glad to help. If they didn't, if they just looked into it, whatever gets her view.
So whose idea was it for you to do all these tours that we all went on? The three of us.
The New York tour was like my idea, but sort of Martha like threw in her idea on that too, and we both like came to an agreement. Like, yeah, we should do a New York tour, since we've helped Martha when she's told people like, oh, come go to New York, who to check out. Be like, oh, hit up Eddie or Lewis, and of course we know, since we're born in New York, since we're born and raised in New York, basically we know a lot of parts that, like, instead of going on the train or bus, we could just be like, go here, go there, go take this, take that, and it'll be easier than like, oh, let me go on a tour guide or like on a tour bus.
A New York point of view.
True.
A New Yorker's point of view.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. How about you, Eddie? You like being on this thing or what? Because you're always the quiet one in the back seat with the mask on.
Hey man, I'm just trying to stay safe. No, but
The mask on for the pictures.
what happened?
Car ride, no mask.
And you gotta let them kids know, bro. You gotta stay safe. It's been fun, man. Just hanging out with you two guys. It's been fun. I'm a little busy during those times, but it's always fun.
Okay, so what does he do in your personal time?
I'm a forex and cryptocurrency trader.
Okay.
So there's a lot of time that has to be put into it to learn strategies and predict the market. And I like it though. I can't.
Eddie, I got a question about it.
Yo.
A lot of people try to reach out and promote you do the forex, right? The forex trading.
Yeah.
And always promote this. You got to pay like $200 a month to be part of a group to learn strategies.
I wouldn't say a group, but I learned from an online academy which has like over 500 educators. So it really just goes around your time, your schedule. So you learn on your time. And let's say, for instance, like I sign you up, I'll bring you into my group so that we'll let you know, like, oh, buy this, sell that, buy Bitcoin, sell Bitcoin.
Talking about IML?
Yeah, IML, yeah.
I was in IML for a while.
What happened? You dropped out?
Yeah, I dropped out because I'm not going to go into deep with that one. I'll tell you later about that.
Oh, I want to hear that.
I'll tell you, yeah, but I don't want to badmouth anybody or nothing on this shit. But,
yeah, I hear you.
Yeah,
I mean, it's been great for me, man.
But I can learn good stuff, though. I learned all the good, the basics, all that other stuff. So, I plan to get into it again, but I don't know when.
You probably didn't have you probably didn't choose the right educators, or you probably didn't have the right mentorship.
No.
You didn't have the right group.
Do you have to join the company? I can't pay you directly like Eddie.
I would recommend joining the academy just because I'm not at the level of teaching yet. I'm a harmonic pattern trader, So I trade with harmonic patterns within the market, but I won't be able to like teach at a level that you could learn from yet. But then I have like two mentors who trade completely different than me, and everybody feeds off each other, and everybody makes money.
Are there really that many strategies in the trading?
There's a lot of strategies, so you got to find the one that works for you. Because you can either trade London session, which is from 2 to 7, from 2 in the morning to 7 a.m., or you could trade New York session from 7 to like 11 a.m. And then, or you could be an intraday trader, which is you trade during the day, but it depends on your strategy. Like I said, I trade harmonics. You could trade. There's also binary. There's also indicators. There's a whole bunch of stuff. You just gotta pick the right one that works for you.
I got somebody good for you. If you want to add on Facebook, the guy is killing it with that. He's awesome.
Yeah, like my mentor, bro. Like I'm not like kidding around. Like he makes 10 to 15 grand a week, bro. I'm not at that level yet, but my boy is killing it.
This guy's making that a day. This guy's not playing. Yeah, the guy. I'll tell you about him later. But
yeah, for sure.
Good shit. This is some good shit. The guy's killing it, man.
Yeah, especially when it comes to like Bitcoin and crypto. That thing's 24/7.
Yeah,
and I've seen some amazing stuff, bro.
Yeah.
Martha, you there?
Yeah.
Okay, I read. You were laid off at a prior marketing company. Is that what it was?
It wasn't a marketing company. It was actually a small family business in San Diego.
Okay. And how did that help? Well, not help, but motivate you to actually creating MDMC?
That was a disaster, man. That was the worst feeling in my life, man. I wasn't expecting it. It was I went into this company because the company I was at prior, I was at their competitor, and I was there for 3 years. I grew that business from 5 million to 11 million in 3 years. So there was substantial growth throughout the time. So that's what caught these people's attention, that I could do substantial growth like that. And I had all the tools to do it. And so when I went to this company, I got a pay raise, but I was very limited on what I could and couldn't do. Like, in order to do well, you have to have access to everything. And there was only parts of the numbers I could reach. And I'm like, I can't really implement what I want if I don't know this piece of the puzzle. And so that was right around that time when I got that job, was when I started doing the side gig of MDMC. And, I started to lay down this foundation after work. And and I mentioned this, Alex and I had a one-on-one on one of my business building episodes, but he told me over the course of those 3 years, you should do this, you should do that. And I didn't listen at all.
The usual.
And because I was just too busy having fun, I was doing a full-time job, and then I was traveling on the weekends. I felt like I was on a steady projection to do both. And, I guess I took my eye off the ball for a minute and wasn't really realizing what was happening in front of me. And just out of nowhere, it kind of just happened one day, and which sucked because, they made millions and millions of dollars after I got there. And I wasn't ready for it. I remember I hit up Lewis and Eddie and one of my good friends, Dion, in LA, and that sucked. It was hell. So it took about, I think, I was having a really hard time landing another job. I thought I would just pick up on my feet quickly, just because, I thought I was the shit, just because I have a really good track record. I was like, who the hell isn't going to hire me? That's the kind of attitude I went in with. And it just was hard to land a job. And I was like, what the fuck is going on out there? And it was around March of 2019 that I was like, you know what? I'm just going to dedicate all my time to running a business. I just, fuck it. Let me get a really good client, and I I can take off that way. And then when I started taking off in that direction, I started traveling again with my agent. And when I came back from all those trips, I ended up getting a job with a company down in downtown San Diego. That only lasted 3 months, but I was already, I think I was already jaded and already like very on high alert that this could happen again. So I made sure 100% that the money I was making at that job was going into here.
So what was the amount of days you were unemployed? I remember you told you had a count.
233.
230 days unemployed.
Yeah.
But within those days, you were doing your own thing, yes?
Finding a job is a full-time job in and of itself. So I would wake up early. I would apply. I would go through all the applications, and I was scouring all over the area of San Diego to LA. And I was like, fuck it, I'll go to LA. I don't care. And I had Brendan, he works at Warner Brothers. He told me, he's like, put my name on your applications. I'll talk to a recruiter, And so, I had a little help there, but then that was right around the time they got bought out by AT&T. So it was, the HR thing was weird. So I think if the situation was a little different, I probably would have landed quicker. But I was talking to the San Diego County office. I was talking to people there, and people were just baffled. They're like, you have a stellar resume, and I'm one of those overachievers. It's not a white piece of paper. As a marketer, you have to stand out in the crowd. So mine had fucking color and it was just like icons. It was amazing. And, a part of me was like, maybe it makes me look too expensive. And maybe it looks, like, I don't know. I did everything I could to stand out. It wasn't working. It's the first time that I ever hit a wall like that.
Pretty fucked up.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Have you or would you work with like social media influencers and like, what is it, YouTube actors, like people that are just getting started?
You gonna work out with Chiclet?
I mean, is that a good look for MDMC, or is MDMC a good look for them?
The weird thing with influencers is it's funny because I think if you were to hire an influencer, I've done it in both ways. When I worked at where was I working? Just recently, I think it was my last company I was with. But when you hit up an influencer to do specific things, they have their own freelance criteria of what they want. And so it's like outsourcing a marketing person for one day or one post or whatever. And then on the other side of it, it's like, I don't know if we would use an influencer because we don't really need one. I don't think, we don't have merch or anything. Like it wouldn't make sense for our marketing model or our business model.
Is merch coming next?
That was my question too. You got merch coming?
Yeah, definitely merch is coming. It's a funny thing they don't tell you when you get into business. When you sign up and you buy, you incorporate your business, you have to pay a lot of taxes. So every quarter I have to pay a set of taxes so I can stay above the books. But it's coming.
Hustling matters.
Yeah.
Come again?
It's like grinding matters.
Grinding matters.
All right, so you mentioned this guy Brendan, right? You say he works at Warner Brothers?
Yeah, he did. He was there for about 5 years, and then he needed his time away from that, so he ended up going to masterclass.
What's that?
Masterclass is where all those celebrities teach people how to do things. Like, I forget who's a really good masterclass.
DJing.
Yeah.
So what's he do? Like, what's he teaching?
So he works in clearance. So it's all the legal matters that go into companies using specific imagery.
Good.
So he knows all the legal backwards and frontwards and all of the facts that are known about a specific criteria. He worked for DC for a good while. So I remember there was a conflict with one show that they were fighting over Bruce Wayne doing this or that, and he's the reference, the encyclopedia. He says, no, Bruce Wayne did this, and this, and then and then they're like, oh, okay, so it's cleared. So you have to do it to make sure it passes all the lines before it goes into production.
And this is the same guy that's revamping the Power Rangers thing?
Yes, actually, when I met him through one of my clients, Roger Velasco, who's a Power Ranger. Roger hit me up one day and he says, I'm doing a documentary about my life. And I said, what the fuck? And I said, with who? Like, and when it comes to Roger, like, I'm his business manager. I manage everything when it comes to the website, his merch, his social media, all his other things we don't talk about, business wise. Just I manage a lot of it. And so when he came to me and told me he was doing that, I said, we don't even know who this person is. This could be a fraud. This could, like, I presented a lot of issues to him and he's like, it's totally fine. And he gave me this guy's info. And then after the documentary was done, I got in touch with Brendan and it was like we were long lost brother and sister. It was like long lost relatives. It was so weird. Like, we just connected so quickly. And he's like, come out to Warner Brothers. I'll take you around. And I was like, all right. Well, we had Louis, Alex, and I had already been to Warner Brothers, but I got the exclusive tour, the one where I didn't need a buggy to walk around in, And so I got into like, we passed by Clint Eastwood's office. Like, we went to a lot of places you don't go on in the tour. And that was the day he told me about the Power Ranger script that he pitched to Saban. And I was just so impressed with it. I said, we have to find a way to pitch this again. And he says, no, I don't know who I would pitch it to. So I remember after I came back from that tour, I went on LinkedIn and I just started finding people. And I connected him with a couple people. There was one guy that worked at Hasbro and Warner Brothers. And I said, this guy works in your department, I think. And he was like, I didn't even know this guy. And he's down the hall from me. I said, talk to him.
That's that guy with the beard? He looks at your stuff? I think you posted the picture.
Oh, no. That's somebody else. That was somebody else. Oh. But anyway, we got connected with somebody. Brendan started pitching it, and we were ready to go. He had already rounded up a couple of the OG Power Rangers to go with him at right around the week of PMC or after PMC.
Was Blake in this?
No.
Oh.
And right around that time, that was the acquisition of Hasbro with Saban. So the people that we were in touch with all got let go. So, but there has been a resurgence. We've talked to somebody else who has those connections, and it looks like it might be going back to Hasbro. So we're waiting and seeing. I don't know. But Brendan's like, you're coming with me to pitch this. I was like, oh, hell yeah. I'm not missing an opportunity to walk into the Hasbro offices. So.
It's not like another version of The Order, is it?
No. Actually, it's kind of funny. This story was pitched to the people that made The Order, and there was elements of this story. Not to piss off Louis or Eddie here, but the Lord Draken thing was taken out of this as well. Like, when you read the original script, when you read this script, I've read this entire thing, and I'm like, well, no wonder the whole thing got poached. And so seeing The Order being made, and it's very similar, but it's not. And then the Draken thing was like, oh, wow, that's a complete ripoff of this. So I don't know. I'm protective of my friends. And, I was pretty pissed that happened. And I'm not saying, it could be possible it was ripped off from there. It could be, great minds think alike. I'm not saying if and or but it's possible. But yeah, so we're going to try and get it back to Hasbro, and it's going to get made one way or another, I think.
Are you going to star in it? You going to be the Pink Ranger?
No.
Why not? I'll say this. I read the script because, but it is good. I will say that, but the whole Lord Dragon thing is a whole different story that I'm not going to get into at the moment.
How about you, Eddie? You want to get into that?
This mofo has access to my email. I forgot he had access to it, but yeah, he read it.
He just fucking went in there and read shit.
Snooping around, nice.
Yeah, so.
How about you, Eddie? You want to touch upon the whole Lord Dragon thing? I know you're a big Green Ranger fan, and Papa and stuff.
That sounds like fake news to me right there, but sure.
Anyway, on that.
I don't know.
I know too much.
We'll talk about that shit off the air.
But is it real?
Oh.
Yeah, I can't really say.
I don't know.
Anywho,
Sounds like a lot of gossip over here. Be another
Again, that
episode.
book will be dropping in 5 years or so.
All right, so then where do you see yourself launching both MDMC and MDMC East? Like, where's your direction headed? You trying to go to Hollywood? You trying to go to worldwide? You trying to stick to one simple thing?
You know, I am very. I think actually it's kind of funny. Next month will be the anniversary of when I started this whole thing, completely 100% free on my own accord. So, this whole year has been really great. I've had, even though it may not look like it on social, we do tailor our message as to what we're working on and who we're working with, because obviously I don't want to be poached, or I don't want my clients poached, basically. But we've been super busy. We've had one very large client just take care of us all together, and we've been taking care of them in return. And it's been great because there's a lot of things that they needed done that I was familiar with. I've learned new things. So the objective really is I just want to keep working on projects that I like to work on, that I'm not being told and forced to work on. One thing is, MDMC Entertainment, it does have entertainment in its name, and we do work with people in entertainment, but we also work with small businesses, mid-size to, entrepreneur size. So we work with anybody and everybody who needs help with their exposure, their branding, their messaging. Where do I see this going? I mean, I hope to be able to onboard at least, I'm busy now. It's been crazy now for me, but because I'm carrying the workload, but I would love to carry on a couple more clients to be able to just start building it up and start hiring people full time, give Lewis a pay raise for his content that he's making, and just be able to just start getting clients all over. I have a friend of mine who, I got my big client from. This guy created his own business, I think about 5 years ago. And it's just him and another guy. And this guy said, I'm done paying U.S. taxes. I'm going to go live in Europe. And it's just him doing all the work for about 40 plus clients. He makes $3 million a year. It's possible, especially if you're really good at what you do. And I think I'm probably one of the best marketers on the West Coast. And I don't focus on our stuff right now because we're busy making other people money. So at the end of the day, then a lot of people will say that, well, your numbers aren't where they need to be or this or that. It's like, no, we're busy making money for other people. At the end of the day, that's what matters. So, I just want to be able to grow it and, help people out.
Yeah.
But
Martha definitely does bust her ass. I'll give her credit for that.
I know she works day and night.
Yeah.
Where you see her now is where she's at all day.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what time you call her, that's that same picture.
Yes, it's on record all day. It's on a loop.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's more clothes, sometimes it's less clothes, but that's what she says. So, what about you, Lewis and Eddie? Where do you wish to take this whole MDMC East?
Where should she take it?
No, where do you guys? Where do you want to take it?
Honestly, it'll be awesome if cons were still open, because we'll go all up on the east side to different cons and stuff like that. But everything's messed up right now.
That was totally the plan, Alex. Before all this happened, I was supposed to be away from my home for at least 10 trips. I was supposed to be in Australia this year. I was supposed to be all over. And what I was going to do was, I got my first show of MDMC being a vendor at LAX Fan Fest, and I had the banner and everything. And so what I was going to do is I was going to send the banner out to the boys in New York, and I was going to have them do all the shows. I was going to pay for tables. I wanted them to go out and just start spreading the word that we were there as well. So That was, sorry to interrupt, but that was the plan.
Yeah.
Me and Eddie were supposed to like hit a lot of these, just like local cons, like ones that we can drive to, or just like just go for the weekend and just like help out Martha, like see if anybody like wants help with their social media or just whatever in general that they're trying to brand out or reach out to, or like that was sort of like a goal, like to just hit everywhere that we possibly can, of course money wise also, but but due to COVID everything got shut down, and fortunately we couldn't reach that part. Is there other ways that we probably can? Yeah, but then a lot of these cons now they're doing virtual, so it's just they're already getting their marketing, they're already getting their branding from those bigger cons that like to us is just like, oh, you guys do this, okay, while they have already a con that's just like, oh, here's all my information, do whatever you want with it. You want to bring me on to a show, go let me know when, let me see my schedule, that's it. You want a couple of autographs, let me know. You want to do it live, okay. You want me on IG live and doing signing autographs, telling people like, oh, go to this website, go to that website, you can find my autographs there. Like they're already getting all this promotion, where that's what me and Eddie was gonna do for Martha. We was gonna be like, hey, well, we can market you, we can do this, we can do that for you.
Recruiters.
Yeah. But it's COVID. But hopefully next year, like, you know, a lot of this, I wouldn't say stop, because we are at a different time now, so we don't know how next year is gonna predict. But hopefully, maybe
Should be a lot
that it can be, definitely be a little better, where we could like maybe these people don't want to use that website anymore, then they want somebody personal where they can talk to and be like, hey, I want to sell autographs every couple of months because I don't want to do a con, but I want to sell my autographs. Perfect, we can do that for you.
That's pretty cool.
We'll make a website for you, we'll do something just to help promote them.
Nice.
So then, where does the development fall into place here?
Let me get to this real quick, okay? As part of expanding, because you know people have seen MDMC at cons and they've seen this and that, and one of the things that I really wanted to do was to really extend our digital footprint. And again, we're so busy with our clients that we don't have time to do this ourselves. And so finally, you know, we kind of made time. And you know, one of the things I wanted to really show the strength and the knowledge that we have within working in these industries. I mean, you know, we work with so many businesses that have multi-million-dollar revenues and multi-million-dollar marketing budgets that we have worked in these big numbers. And so we have something to say about that. And we have tactics on what you can do to make yourself better in either if it's in business or in marketing or whatever. And so, you know, we started Business Building and Beyond, and you know, the first 10 episodes were, you know, preliminary. We wanted to see where that was what was gonna happen there. And you know, I noticed it's just not going in the direction it needed to go in. And I had been telling Lewis, and at one point I was telling Mark, you know, we need to start showing that we work in these areas. And I had jokingly said to Lewis one day, hey, you know, shoot some video around New York, just show some shit so we can throw it on YouTube and we'll make it work for us. And then out of nowhere this time, here's the development, here's Alex is our first guest, and it just kind of, he ran with it. So I'm doing my part in showing the knowledge part, but also on this part, because of what I just went through with being unemployed and starting your own business and being successful at it for the first year, thank God. We want to talk to other people that are on that same path as well. And I think that's where Lewis came in with that, because there is a lot of talent out there that people don't know about. And some people, maybe they want to be featured and maybe they want to tell the world what they're doing. But I mean, I don't know what his thinking process on it was, but that was the process for me on the YouTube channel.
What was your thought process?
My thought process was to show people their talent, what they do, basically what they do to to live basically in New York, because New York is expensive, first of all. But also just to show, like, look, there's writers, there's music producers, there's people that that are not well known as, like, let's say DJ Khaled or anybody else that produces music. There's these little guys that are like that's worked with people that artists and people that we know, even if there's like indie musicians or indie artists or like my friend that has like 8 books out. Like, I didn't know she had 8 books out, I only knew of 4. But that's good for her that she has 8 books out. Like, you know, there's graphic designers that like people don't know about, because some of them really like to just keep themselves, but really show their work, and you will never know that person. You will never know who's behind that drawing or that graphic. There's people that like dance, and you don't know that. I know that, but there's other people that know that. But to show and spread their talents, like, hey, maybe somebody might want to do that, or like want to learn from that, or buy that person's book or graphic, or something that's, you know, people should be known for their work, because not a lot of people are known for their work.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Definitely, that's true.
Especially like you guys, like, you know, you started up. I feel like people should know, and also to show support.
Yeah, everybody deserves a chance, right?
Yep.
You know?
Definitely.
Everybody should make a little green somewhere.
Definitely.
For sure.
So with that show, I saw you had various people, like you said, your friend who writes books.
Yeah.
You had a guy that dances.
Yep.
That was pretty fancy too. I saw that video of him dancing.
Yep. He does tap dancing. I didn't get it on the interview because I totally blanked out on that question. But he's also done some work where, like, he was a judge. And he would be a judge with special, like,
on those dancing shows.
Yeah, on those dancing
Yeah.
shows, and
Nice.
and he'll be like the Salmon Cow and be like, your dance was okay, or like, you can improve on that, or that was amazing, like something like that. He was a judge. He teaches intermediate lessons and beginners and experts, and that's how he's doing his living.
That's pretty cool. I saw you also had that guy who makes those custom Funko Pops.
Yep.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah, he's right in New York, and I know a lot of people that's done that, but like, I like his work. I've seen his work. Eddie has one of his pops. Definitely, he does good work, and you know, people should know that. People should know, like, should see, like, oh, I like what he does. I want to support him. I want to, even if it's something small, or if they want to donate, like, they should know. Like, I know there's a bunch of contests out there also with Funko Pops and other toys and stuff that, like, we don't know about, but we'll see it on TV or like on a Comic-Con show or general. So people should know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I was gonna ask Martha, what was you gonna do over there in Australia?
There was this, I don't know how this agent was able to pull this off, but there was a show with, I think, a couple of Harry Potter actors, and it's one of those traveling shows. So I think you start in Sydney, and then you go and loop around for like a week to a couple of other places, and then it's a 2-week tour. And so it was like a Comic-Con on the go type of thing. And you know, so every day you're in a different town in Australia. And so I was excited because it started off in Sydney, and it went up the coast of Sydney, and then it went up to the top over near Queensland, I guess, of where the Outback is. Like, not near the Outback, but it's somewhere near there, up on the top. And then there was another show that was happening in Melbourne, so I had to go back down to the bottom of Australia for, I think it was about 3 weeks. And then on my way back, I was supposed to stop in Alaska for another show that I had just been at. And, you know, Australia caught on fire. And so that jeopardized the entire show because, you know, everything was just scorched. So then that one was, that probably should have been the omen that 2020 was going to be a shitty year. And so, I got yanked from that. So I was like, all right, well, we'll just wait. And then when COVID hit, just everything I had planned, I was supposed to be in New York 5 times this year, and I only made it there once. So yeah, that sucked. So, it just, COVID killed it.
So you're not gonna come at all?
I don't know.
The city's reopening little by little, but we're getting to stage 4 in certain areas. Like right now, they approved outside settings for restaurants and stuff all year round, well, permanently. So, I mean, they're opening up little by little, so you can still come out here.
Yeah, I don't know, because I tend to come whenever it's cold. The last time I went was in October, November, and January. So every time I show up, it's freezing. I don't know why that is. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I know there's a trip I have planned to go into the other side of Canada, and then I want to drive down from Maine all the way down to New York. So I have that planned. I don't know when it's going to happen, but.
Is that an MDMC thing?
Yeah, you should record that. A little road trip. Sure, yeah.
It's kind of funny because I'm a history buff, so I love anything and everything that involves history. And we got really stuck on this show called Oak Island, The Search of Oak Island, The Treasure of Oak Island. And so they actually do have a visitor center. You can actually go on to Oak Island. I don't know how far you can get into it. I don't know how far you can get into the digging aspect of it, but I know there's a visitor center there and people go there all year round. So, yeah, I'm going to go to Oak Island. They're in Nova Scotia, and then I want to either fly out to go to Maine, and then, because I've never been to Maine, that'd be cool. So, yeah, I want to take that trip down.
You want to say something?
What happened, Louis?
No, you guys just made me think of something, since I'm doing a little trip somewhere, so
Make it happen.
So no, do like a little tour thingy and maybe get an episode out there if I can.
Meet me in Maine or something. Maybe. Well, who can go to Canada? Who's got a passport? We can all go.
I got a passport.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
I got mine last year, so
I was just there last year.
That's right. Yeah, and
The Pokemon thing.
Who'd you go with?
Don't worry about it.
Louis and Eddie were supposed to be in California a couple weeks ago, and that came and went. That was really sad. Yeah, I mean, COVID sucks. Just ready for this shit to be over.
So, for business building and beyond, is that going to continue? And if so, you plan on how do you plan on putting in the direction that you wanted to get to?
The thing is I know a lot of really cool people like Louis. I think Louis knows cooler people though, because I've seen his interviews and they're great. I want to be able to do a mixture of the teaching aspect of it and the things you should watch out for if you're going to hire a digital marketing agency, or why branding's so important. No one knows why branding's important. Every time you go to ask somebody what their branding is, they're like, what? Why is that important? I'm like, that's your whole. Oh, you can get into a lot of those things. So I want to split it up to where I do an educational topic, and then I do just to show our value, and then to also have a guest on. And so I'm working with someone right now who's helping me with the guest aspect, because I know some people, but this person knows other people. They're like, oh, they would be perfect for this, because I just interviewed Jeffrey Dolan, and he's this really big. I didn't know how big of a deal he was with Power Ranger lore. I mean, I knew he's a voice actor. I think he's probably one of the longest voice actors in all of Power Rangers, but I didn't care about that. I wanted to know about this guy. How did he get here? And what I loved the most about it was that he took which a lot of people don't know how to do in Hollywood, is when they take their career and they turn it into a business opportunity. And so now he does corporate events. So now you can hire him to do your, award shows and things like that when COVID's over. So some people are smart like that. We have a couple of people in entertainment that have been able to successfully go from being in front of a camera to being a business person. And so that's the part that intrigues me the most, is their path. How'd they get there? What was some of their mishaps, and maybe some advice to people that are looking to do the same thing, because I feel in the direction that the world is heading in, people want a life that they want to be able to control their life as much as possible. So a nice work-life balance. And in truth, I never had that when I worked for somebody else. I think my first marketing job, I was there at granted, I lived an hour away from my work. I was there from 7 a.m. to 6 o'clock at night. So I had no life because it was dedicated to the career. So, at some point you get tired. And I think people are yearning for that work-life balance. So, and I think entrepreneurship is definitely on the rise because of it, because there is money to be made. There are people that need help. There are people that don't know shit half the time. Some people, I have seen people want to get into business and have no clue what to do after that. Literally, they're like, this is my business name. What do I do next? I'm like, oh my God. Okay, here we go. So those projects are fun.
Would you ever consider teaching what you do?
Again, I don't have the ideas around half the time. That was actually my husband's idea. He said, you should teach people what you know how to do. And I said, then people wouldn't hire me. And he says, not necessarily. I think there are certain things you can teach.
No, not free.
That'd be too much competition. Just leave that shit for yourself.
I mean, I think you could do online courses.
Yeah.
I thought of that. I think I see people make stupid mistakes on Instagram and Pinterest and shit that, I'm like, wow, if you knew how to do this, this would be so much better. I had a potential lead. I met with these people, and a lot of people don't understand that Pinterest can work as a organic traffic generator. And people are like, what? Pinterest is for recipes and working out. I'm like, no. If you use it correctly, you can actually generate some organic traffic, and you need organic traffic to make Google look like you have an authority. And they don't know what that means. And I'm like, okay, so, I thought of doing a course like that to break it down. Like, this is why it's important, because the mechanics behind it, people are like, oh yeah, I'm everywhere. But people don't know how to optimize their accounts. Most people just get on Instagram and they just fuck around on Instagram. They don't really know how to optimize it correctly. Same with YouTube. There's a lot of optimization in YouTube people don't know how to do. And so, yeah, I mean, I've thought of doing courses like that, because I know I ran into a girl that does a podcast too that I listen to, and she offers courses as well. And she's also made her own business. So, it's kind of funny because she's a photographer, but she offers these marketing courses that are actually pretty good. And yeah, I thought of that, but it's just right now I'm too busy. I think if we get to a point where we have enough cash flow that I have people I can teach my methods to, and that was the plan this year. That was really what I was planning on doing. I had at one point I had a client I was just going to hand off to someone, and they couldn't handle it. So I was like, okay, yeah. So that's the importance of building a good team that understands how you work, that wants to work, and has that work ethic to do it.
MDMC courses sound good. What's a typical work day for you? From the moment you wake up to the time you go to bed, how does that?
Oh gosh.
Let's just say this. I'll say this, because sometimes I knock out when Martha's still texting. Martha's up by maybe 7 sometimes if she doesn't have a meeting.
Our time?
Yeah,
7 hour time.
Let's say 7 hour time.
Well, oh yeah.
So you're up at 4 your time?
Damn, that's mad.
No, I'm probably no. Well, hold
No,
on.
no. 7 her time. 7 her time.
I don't know. I've reverted my schedule. I was up at all hours of the night. I had to stop that because Lewis told me I looked ugly one day for a video, so I checked my sleep.
I'm not getting into that again.
That was a fun day.
I'm looking up friends, look.
Anyway, no, I think my schedule, I usually am up by 8 Pacific Standard Time. And then I walk my dogs, I get breakfast. So probably about 8:30, 9, I'm already in front of the computer. I break around noonish, to eat and catch up on the news, and then I'm back at it from like 1 to 4:30. And then by that time, I walk my dogs again, and then husband comes home. I hang out with him for a little bit, and then I think probably about 8 or 9 o'clock, I'm back on the computer until like midnight, which is really bad. But sometimes it just depends on what I'm working on.
That's what happens when you're the boss, though, right?
So, hey, holy shit.
The thing is like I'm the most busiest I've ever been, but this is the most happiest I've ever been. I get to call my shots. I don't have to get up and get dressed and go somewhere. Sometimes I do, sometimes I do have client meetings where I have to go into the office and meet with the team, but yeah, I mean, it's my own life. I can design it the way I want.
Exactly. Yeah, it's true. You are the creator.
Anything else to say?
Nothing?
You haven't said much.
That's it.
I've been listening.
He's
a lot of good.
absorbing this information.
I was wondering just to recommend you to people. Like, I wouldn't even know how to do it though. Like, charge, like how much y'all charge me to get in, blah blah blah. I don't know. Like,
I guess if you can leave that shit up to her. She has her way
Martha
of
has her plans.
She has her way of expressing all that. But if you know someone who's looking for something of that nature, just what's the best way to reach you?
So you can hit me up on my email, marthad@mdmcentertainment.com, or you can hit up the website. There's a contact information there. You can fill out your info and what you're working on, and then I'll get back to you because it goes directly into my inbox. Huh?
Your phone was on that website.
Yeah, is that how you got it?
You never asked. Well, your new number, yeah.
Yes, my new number. Yeah, because I got a call and I was like, what the hell? How does he have my number? I'm everywhere. So yeah, it's on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Pinterest. Traffic. Yeah, I'm everywhere. Anywhere that you can be. Yeah, we're out there.
Can you tell us again what services you provide?
Yeah, so MDMC is a digital marketing agency. So we do content creation, digital marketing strategy. Most people don't know what their strategy is, so we help them create it. Social media management, email marketing, website management, paid advertisements, pay-per-click, and website development. And yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, good stuff.
That sounds good.
Some good stuff right there.
Yeah, the only thing I don't know how to do is SEO, and trust me, that's pissing me off that I don't know how to do that. I know how to do organic SEO, but I don't know how to do the mechanics of it. So, man, once I learn that, game over.
Fuck. Now, people, so we're about to end this. I think we've bored everybody long enough. No. Real talk, though. It was very informational.
Yes.
Very, very.
Thank you for being with us.
We appreciate your time.
We recommend everybody to you now.
And Eddie, thank you for talking so much that, we can't get your voice out of our heads now.
Eddie, that's the most I've ever heard you speak, bro. I've been watching.
Well, it's cool to finally put the faces to the voices because, I listen to you guys every week. Now that I knew that Alex had a podcast, I've been listening to you guys, and you guys are funny. Sometimes I'm sitting here listening and arguing with you guys because some of you guys are confused as shit sometimes. And I'll hit up Alex. I'm like, yo.
And about the whole Zan thing, remember we were trying to figure out the fucking name of the show?
Right.
That's what she said. She was like yelling at the car. Which is what? What was the name?
What was the name?
Connors.
So it started out as Roseanne, and then once Roseanne got booted, it was called the Connors. It was never the Barbs where Lewis got that shit from.
Well, that's why we were confused because once Roseanne was out the picture, who cares after that?
No one gives a fuck anymore.
Word. She's an icon. I love her. But
So-
Of course you do.
Martha, do you have a favorite episode of Facts of Life?
I think the pineapple pizza one was one of my favorites.
Okay.
The pizza, the superhero one.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Of course, because she's a nerd, so.
Yeah. I was really into it.
I have to ask, Who's your favorite Ranger?
Who's my favorite Power Ranger?
Yeah.
And he's shaking his head.
Well, the pink or the yellow one?
No, neither.
Rayo.
The black one?
I just let her fucking answer.
Like the OG Rangers or out of all Ranger fandom?
OG ones.
The OG? Oh, well, you guys know, and I have to give credit because without this guy, none of us would have met, but we're going to give it to Austin St. John, the Red Ranger. And he's from my hometown, so.
Right, okay.
Who?
Jay wins.
The Red Ranger.
Austin St. John, Red Ranger.
Who?
I don't know, bro. I'm on your side, Eddie. Don't worry. I like the Green Ranger, man. Always been my
Yeah, that's what's up.
number one.
That's not Richard Cruz ponytail.
Probably like a little bit, you know?
Green Ranger all the way, man.
Oh, my God.
Always.
Sorry, something to say?
No. Nope, I got nothing.
No, okay. Is there any more question, guys, fellas?
I'm good.
For anybody for East
Eddie,
West?
thank you for being with us too. Thank you.
Nah,
Louis,
thank you guys for
appreciate
having
you.
me, man.
Appreciate you guys.
Always.
All you guys. Well, we also appreciate you guys. Well, mostly Martha and Louis because they'd be sleeping for sharing and supporting our podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And I appreciate you too, Eddie, for sharing that at one time.
No.
Yeah, that was fun.
At one time, it was fun.
That was
Never
fun.
again.
Woo. Good ride.
No, but we do appreciate your support, so thank you very much. Support goes both ways.
Facts.
And with that, we leave you guys. So thank you once again. That's the end for today. Make sure you hit us up. Any questions, comments, concerns? That's a wrap.
Peace out. Peace out.
The rap.
All right. Thanks, guys.